We are outside of Borrego Springs, which is one of the stand-in towns for the fictional city of Bacton Cross in one battle after another. It is also where they shot most of the iconic car chase scenes. In this video, we're going to try to track down 5 of the iconic shots from that car chase. We are at the top of the Texas Dip. There are 2 crazy things here that I'm really shocked to see. After seeing the film, I really wanted to know where they shot the car scenes. According to this Variety article that interviews production designer Florencia Martin, the bulk of the scenes were shot outside of Borrego Springs near the Salton Sea, which is just a few hours drive from LA. So I drove out there with my camera guy Parker to check out what the crew nicknamed the River of Hills. But finding the actual spots proved to be a bigger battle than I initially anticipated. So first up, we're going to try to check out and find the spot where Lockjaw was shot and crashed off the mountain. I guess I should also say spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the film. If it's those mountains, or where do you think if it's further up there? There's a little elevation coming up. Like this looks a little less rocky. Maybe it kind of looks like over there. Oh, yeah. We came in from the west on Highway 78, which is what the article mentioned a lot of the scenes were either shot on or filmed near. On the way in, there were definitely a lot of rolling hills. They just weren't our rolling hills. But the first area we saw looked like the wide open expanse where this shot of Lockjaw's car flying off into the distance seems to match up. So we're coming in from the west side of Highway 78, and this seems like one potential location because we got some height and elevation here where the car could fly off. Just looking at this other angle though, the mountain range doesn't quite line up. There's just one other issue with why the spot seems like it matches up but isn't fully matching up. This behind the scenes video that one of the local residents shot when they were actually filming here. We can see in this shot it's a 3-lane road with a merge sign, which doesn't match up with anything that we've driven by on the highway so far. So I'm leaving Lockjaw's crash as maybe with an asterisk as we investigate further. But on to find our next shot. This is the shot that we're gonna try to find that the internet was going crazy over. This one at least has a couple landmarks that I don't see anywhere else. It has a power line running through the shot, so that should be relatively easy to find. And then it's got some of these hills on either side. So this one hopefully is easier to pinpoint with some more certainty. Well, easier said than done. While this image does have power lines which could help identify it, they are a higher voltage power line, bigger than anything that we've seen around Borrego Springs. After literally driving around in a massive circle all the way into Borrego Springs and then back down to Highway 78, we could not find these power lines anywhere. According to Google Maps, the road we're just on was Texas Hills. That's what it had it labeled as, and that was supposed to be the spot with the very hilly up and down road. We're just about in the town, and it was a bit hilly, but it definitely was not the hills from the movie. So we're gonna have to hunt around a little bit more to find that hill spot, and we're kind of in it looks like Palm Springs, like a civilization, which definitely was also not really in the film. So yeah, I think we'll loop around and keep hunting. This was confusing because in the article, the production designer mentions the rolling hills were near the Texas Dip, which we'll get back to later in the video. But these 2 shots, the iconic internet shot, which I've nicknamed the Temple of Cinema, and the rolling hill shot, which I believe is part of the same exact area, proved to be extremely elusive. We also found out one other piece of information that confirmed we were probably in the wrong spot. All right, so real quick, this video is sponsored by Eddy AI. We're trying to do a super fast turnaround with this video. We're shooting this on a Wednesday. We're trying to upload this on a Thursday. The only way that's gonna be possible is if we're uploading the proxies using a Starlink, we're using a camera to cloud workflow, and then we're using Eddy AI to sift through all of our footage and help find good moments and help assemble some of the rough cuts to speed up the entire process so we can deliver this tomorrow. We're gonna have a whole separate video about our behind the scenes process for making this video. But if you wanna learn more about Eddy AI, you can check out the link below. And now back to the video. The next shot we're trying to find is the cliff area where Willa gets swapped that kicks off the car chase. This one, we're trying to find the cliff where Lockjaw and Betty swap Willa, and it's possibly in there. This area is Ocotillo Wells, a state vehicular recreation area that borders the Anza Borrego Desert. There are some Reddit posts that mention that the cliff area they shot the swap at is in this recreation area. The problem is, it's absolutely massive. We drove back up the highway through the Texas Dip, which we'll get back to in a moment, into Borrego Springs, to the park headquarters to ask a ranger for some info. I just went to the visitor center for the state park that we've been driving around in, and where the information said most of the driving scene was filmed around here. They're super nice, super helpful, and they were very excited when the film filmed here, and they said it was a great experience. the car driving off the cliff scene, we're going to go back to it. It was close to where we thought it was, but it's actually right around the corner from here, from this ranger station. What are these flies? What is this? What? What? That's
like gnats.
Yeah, but I think some of them are stinging me.
Oh.
I don't know. All right, let's keep doing this. The rolling hills. They said that's not here. They looked at the trees. They're like, the trees don't match up. It's not here. It's somewhere else in the nearby area, but they couldn't quite nail where. So the rolling hills were not shot in Borrego Springs. Try to figure that out later, but probably not going to get that this time. The cliffs, the area we're going in, we were on the opposite side of where it is. It was shot north of here, not south of here. So we're also going to go and try to check that spot out. But basically everything we thought we knew is sort of nearby, but in the exact opposite direction of either being way north instead of south, or being right here near the visitor center. All right, so now we're going to go check it out. All right, so we pulled over by, I think it's Hellhole campsite. We just drove by what we know is one of the filming spots of the car crash, but I'm still a little suspicious about it. So there isn't really a good spot over there to pull over, so I'm just going to take an aerial shot of the drone to check it out. Well, we drove by it. I mean, so this is the shot of the car crashing, and that still looks more like the open expanse that we saw when we first drove in. So I'm still kind of convinced it's like a combo of two. But we definitely know they shot here because there was some behind the scenes footage of locals who parked here, hiked over, and were checking out the shoot. And it looks like the shot when like Leo came out, or when Bob came out with the gun trying to like check out the crash site. So I'm thinking they probably shot it in two separate areas and cut it together, like the crash in one spot and then the car pulling up and Leo's reaction in the other spot. But here we could see, definitely know that that was in the film because we have shots of the car pulling up from the people's behind the scene footage. Yeah, you know what? Actually, on second thought, kinda. Looking back at the drone footage in the edit, I realized we were looking at the wrong spot. It is not, in fact, here. It is here. This area and this dip in this road are the road that we actually drove in to go to this campsite where we took off from the drone. But this is the road right here. And also, if we check out our shot again from the movie, we can see that the mountain range matches up with this mountain range, and this is Borrego Springs that we see in the distance. So 100% confirmed. So we definitely spent enough time on this one shot. We definitely know that part of it was shot here over the hill on the road. All right, let's go to the next location. This is the Texas Dip, and this is definitely where the final hill occurred, where the final showdown happened. See, we got the frame right here, and this definitely matches up right here. This hill, it doesn't look so dramatic from down here on the street, but when you're driving, you really feel the dip in the height of this hill. And then we're gonna hop up there in a second, and there's also something else that's really surprising with the final showdown and how that happened. All right, so now we are at the top of the Texas Dip, and there are two crazy things here that I'm really shocked to see. One is you can clearly see the hideout where Willa ran behind the sign. I 100% thought that just would have been a set design piece that they brought in, but it's actually, we'll see in a second, the other side of the state park entrance sign. But that is 100% real and practical. The other crazy thing is, if you look on the floor here, there are a bunch of skid marks, which, I mean, unless, I don't know, someone's doing weird donuts here, this is the exact spot that the cars would have collided and hit. So that's still here. So it's crazy to see that. So yeah, 100%. I'm also really surprised, like, because with movies, there's so much movie magic. You can cut two scenes together, but that, like, the geography of this place is 100% like accurate. Came up the hill, crashed in the car, hid behind the sign, and that's where the shootout happened. It was almost sunset, so we were losing daylight, but I was going to give Finding the Cliff area one more shot. So I'm going old school, using the map that the Park Visitor Center gave me, with some marked off spots that they said that they definitely filmed at. I don't know if it coincides with the shots I'm looking for, but we're gonna go check those out. The other location that we're looking for, it is directly behind us. We did a wild goose chase trying to find the location completely on the other side of this park. But speaking to the rangers, they said that it's on this side by Arroyo Salado. So it is right behind us. They did also say that unless you have a heavy duty off-road vehicle, because a lot of off-road vehicles go there and they chop up the dirt, it's very hard to drive in, and that they don't recommend that I drive all the way in there because we would most likely get stuck. I tried it anyways. At first, the road seemed doable. It was a similar dirt road to what we had driven on before, but then the sand started to get pretty slippery and the sun was setting, and I did not want to get stuck out here in the dark in the middle of the desert, so we abandoned the route, but not before hitting a really big bump. Which is probably a good sign that we made the right choice to get out of there. So in our quest for finding locations from one battle after another, we found 2 definite locations. We found one sorta-ish, we know where it's at, we just can't access it with this car. And then we were trying to find the rolling hills, but that one is still TBD. So if you do know where that's at, let me know in the comments. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next episode.